Hello, welcome back to the Archway podcast. I hope everyone is doing well. My name is Archway, your friendly podcast host, and today we're going to be talking about something that's going to be a bit controversial, but I love controversial stuff and it's something I'm very passionate about, so I want to talk about it as it got quite a lot of interest, especially on TikTok. Okay, so the thing that I'm going to be talking about today is all to do with Kit Connor. If you don't know who this incredible actor is, he stars as Nick Nelson in Hearstopper. He also stars as young Elton John in Rocket Man, which is crazy. And I'm going to talk about the stuff that's been happening over the last couple of months and years with him, and my opinion on it, because I did a video on TikTok about this and it got so many views and there was so much controversy, which I love. But I also want to talk about, oh my god, these sirens. Okay, right, let's get into it. Okay, so basically what this episode is going to be about is, since Kit Connor has done Heartstopper and it has exploded, he has been in so much spotlight and so much controversial stuff. Not bad controversial stuff for him, just how the community has reacted to certain things. Okay, so the first thing that I kind of just want to get off my chest is Kit Connor right now in 2024 is 19 years old. Okay, so he's a teenager. So we're talking about teenagers. We're not talking about adults. We're talking about a teenager, a young adult, as you could say. And yeah, so basically what has happened is, when Heartstopper was announced and we knew about the casting and everything else, we got told this amazing actor called Kit Connor is going to be playing Nick Nelson. And I will say this, but do not come for me. I didn't think Kit was going to be good as Nick. That was my personal opinion. I didn't think he was actually going to be that good as Nick. But then after watching the show, of course, that changed my mind. And most people actually thought that the same way. And one of the things that we found out a bit, I'm going to jump back and forward between times, so just because it all makes sense. So one of the things that we found out is that loads of people were saying Kit Connor was not built like Nick Nelson. If you don't know what Nick Nelson looks like in the comics, he's got quite broad shoulders, quite broad chest. He's got a bit of a stomach because, of course, he's a rugby lad. And he's also a teenager. He's like 16. But he's quite built because he plays rugby. And as a rugby player myself, I'm quite built as well. I'm not as built. Like, I'm not as muscular. But, like, I'm built. I have muscle on me. And people are saying, okay, Kit doesn't have this. Kit doesn't look like that. How could he be Nick Nelson? So what we found out from an interview at the gym, which I sadly have had to watch because of this podcast episode, basically he's interviewed at the gym while he's working out and stuff about everything that's going on and why he started the gym and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things that he says to the interviewee is that I started the gym because of people were saying I wasn't the right physique for Nick Nelson, which I think is crazy. If a actor is chosen for a role, it means they fit the role personality. They fit it. It doesn't mean that you just have to go to someone and just be like, okay, yeah, you fit the role. You don't have the right body. He was literally 18 when this was done. And like, if when I was 18, like I massively struggled with my body confidence and everything else, I would have hated to be in the spotlight because of how much of the actors are controlled about their bodies and stuff like this, which is just crazy. And it comes to another topic which is very important in this conversation, which is about sexualization. So basically, if you search up Kit Connor, one of the things on Google that will come up is topless pics, which is ridiculous, especially for an 18/19-year-old. And these photos, people have sexualized over them. So like, oh my god, he looks so fit and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, that's cool. Yeah, okay, he works out. He's got abs. He's got pecs. He looks amazing. Brilliant. That's it. I wouldn't sexualize him. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but you kind of get what I mean. And I think that's kind of a bit weird, especially doing it on an 18-year-old that literally is in the spotlight. He chose to do this role. He loves this role. And I will say, if actors, this has happened before, if actors do not like interactions with fans, they will stop interacting with the fans completely. And for me, I've had some great interactions with Kit over the years. I do not want that to stop because he is like one of the most lovable, caring, nicest persons I think I've ever met. And throughout my time, I have met a couple of actors and stuff, and some of them have been quite rude, but especially with the Heartstopper cast, they're lovely. And it's so sad that he has had all of this spotlight on him. And then the second thing that kind of came out with Kit was his coming out story. If you don't know his coming out story, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. Okay, so this was almost around Halloween time, and since Heartstopper season 1 had come out, of course Nick Nelson is straight, and then he begins to realise through Heartstopper and through over time, he begins to realise his sexuality is bisexual. And people thought, oh my god, Joe and Kit kiss in the show, they're acting, he must be gay. Or, yeah, he must be bi. And I want to know. And I remember this when I was on TikTok and people were asking, like, oh, do you think Kit is gay? Do you think Kit is bi? What do you think? And I was like, I really do not care, because I think how Charlie describes coming out in season 2 is the best way to think about it. Charlie says, it's your decision when you want to come out, you don't have to rush it. Which is 100% true. Now, I'm afraid for Kit Connor, he didn't get that. He was forced, and how he said it was through a Twitter post. And this is where his social media influence kind of went down. He said in his post, I can't remember the exact... Okay, so I've just searched up it on attitude.co.uk, and it says, Kit Connor comes out as bi, congrats for forcing an 18-year-old to out himself. Like, why would you do that? Like, sexuality is, I know it's important, and it is massively important, because it's finding who you are and who you want to be in the community that you belong, like you start. I sometimes don't actually believe in, like, they're not called boxes, like names, tags, something goes along with that. So when I found that out, I was actually staying at a friend's house. We had just come back from Halloween party, which was really good. And I was in a friend's house, and I was like, okay, something's going on in Twitter. I wasn't really on Twitter at the time. I'm recently on Twitter because of, like, work and everything else. But yeah, basically, we saw that this post came out, and I cried. I was like, oh my god, what the hell? Like, why? Why would someone do this? Why would someone be so cruel to basically out someone who's in spotlight and want to know? And you can tell from what he said, forcing an 18-year-old to out himself. It's not like, oh, letting, it's forcing, which is like basically going like, go on, say it. Imagine you were on your phone or something, or you're in a room and you have six people in a circle going, go on, do it, go on, do it, go on, do it. It's like peer pressure. He was basically peer pressured into coming out, which is ridiculous, and that should never happen, especially for an 18-year-old or any teenagers, especially teenagers in the film industry, and especially as actors. Why are they forced to tell people what their sexuality is? I don't understand it. I really do not understand it at all. Which is so sad, and it's so sad that happened, because you can tell that he wasn't ready. He was trying to understand himself, but of course no one gave him time, and he was forced to come out, which is so sad. And it's a topic I could talk about for ages, but I'm not going to, because I don't want to ravel on. I don't want to create negativity. So that was kind of sad. The second thing that happened was something called queer baiting. Now, if you don't know what queer baiting is, I'm literally just going to search it up now. Okay, so queer baiting. The purpose of this method is to attract, bait a queer straight ally audience with a suggestion or possibility of relationship or characters that appeal to them, while not alienated homophobic members of the audience censor any actual portrayal of queer relationships. That's basically what it says on Wikipedia, which I know is a bad source, but the difference between queer baiting is a marketing technique for fiction and entertainment in which creators hint at or do not depict same-sex romance in or other LGBTQ plus representation. So apparently Kit Connor was in a show which is based off a book, and he's wearing this really nice green jumper. His hair's all curly. He's got a key around his neck, and then he's sitting with this really pretty girl. And apparently he's queer baiting because he's holding hands and doing all this kind of stuff, which I'm just like, okay, I don't understand this. How is this queer baiting? He's literally just like, he's playing a character in a film, like in a show or whatever, and apparently it's queerbaiting, which it just isn't. He isn't. He's just playing a character. I don't understand why some people think, oh, he's playing a character which is Nick Nelson. That means he has to be Nick Nelson. He has to be the ideals of Heartstopper. No, he doesn't. He's his own human being. He's his own person. And then one of the most recent things that have come up recently is about this video that was on Instagram. Now, if you don't know about this, I'm just going to quickly explain it, because I did do a TikTok video about it and it got 54.7k views. There was a whole argument, people arguing in the comments, and I was just like, oh my god, what have I started? So I actually found this out from my TikTok friend Aylin. If you don't follow her, please do. She's incredible. Her makeup stuff is incredible. And basically she said to me, I saw a post and she was like, okay, this post has come up where someone has taken a video of Kit Connor on a night out and said he's drunk and drugged. And you can see the video. And he's sitting on the London Tube with one of his friends on his lap. He does not look drugged or drunk. Even if he's drunk, sorry, the Heartstopper cast go live while they're drunk. That is understandable, because they're allowed to, and they are teenagers, they're allowed to do the stuff. You cannot say to a teenager, you cannot do what I did when I was a teenager, because you are in the spotlight. I think that's just crazy. So yeah, that basically happened, and I decided to make a TikTok video about it. And I think it's ridiculous that, like, if you have a photo of someone and they look a little bit drunk and you're like, oh my god, they're drunk, they're not following the themes and stuff of the show, they're not acting like they should be acting responsible. He's a teenager. He's allowed to not be unresponsible. He's allowed to go and have a good night with his friends. If he's having a good night with his friends, leave him alone. One of my friend's mums actually told me sometimes celebrities actually don't like having photos taken. Like, they don't like it at all. They actually find it really annoying. And I've been able to luckily speak to a couple of celebrities, and I have asked this question, like, do you not like having photos taken with you while you're in the street and stuff and walking around or shopping or doing whatever? And most of them say it's actually quite annoying, because it's like invading your personal space. They're only going to use it so they can post it on Instagram and gain more followers, which is basically what happens. And if you do get one of the best interactions I've had with cast members of the show, of Heartstopper, is basically just having a pure conversation. Not even having a photo. Like, if you go onto my Instagram account or my TikTok, you will see there is a video of me meeting Alice, but it's just a video, it's an experience. I didn't get a photo with her. I just want to have a quick conversation with her, and that's pretty much it. Baby Queen, I had a full-on ass conversation with her. She said, do you want to get a photo? And I was like, yes, please. Is that okay? She said, yeah. That's what you should ask. That's what should happen. Which is just ridiculous. And I just think, like, if you see a celebrity, say hi, go up to them, have a nice conversation, leave it at that. That's how I would do it. Like, if I see a Heartstopper cast in the street or something, I will not go up to them and be like, hi, can I have a photo, please? Oh, thank you, bye. No, it's not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea. You can tell that this is a very controversial episode, which I actually love, because it's time to get into a bit of controversial stuff. Now, another thing about all of stuff that's going on with Heartstopper cast is, I'm going to talk about it, and I know most people don't want to talk about it, or do want to talk about it, and they want to know the answer, was Joe and Bash dating? Why is it your business if they are? Why is it your business if two people that work on a show dating? They are teenagers. They're allowed to date who they want to. It's like with me, sometimes as I became more popular on TikTok, I've noticed that people want to message me and want to ask me questions and stuff like this. And sometimes people do not understand personal space or personal information. If someone doesn't want to tell you something, A, it's probably personal information. B, they don't have to because of the freedom of speech. And C, just leave them alone, because you will lose that connection with that person. And I've had it a couple of times. I've had to say to people, like, I'm sorry, you are beginning to annoy me. Like, you're beginning to get into my personal space. It's really tricky. So my friends have had it before. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not going to say who they are that's had it. But it is that kind of stuff that goes on. And I think it's ridiculous that kind of does go on. Which is really annoying, because that shouldn't happen at all. So yeah, if it doesn't matter. If Joe and Bash did date, brilliant. That's really good for them. I'm so happy that they did. I hope they understood who they are, what they wanted in a relationship, and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I'm not really a big person for relationships, so that's a complete different story. But yeah, that's the kind of thing I just think is kind of like taken over. Oh, it's showing Kit dating. Do you know what? If they were, brilliant. If they weren't, I don't really care. I really do not care. I think the most important thing is that they have a brilliant relationship. They kind of, one of the things that they said in the interview while they were driving around Soho in London is, one of my favourite things to do with Kit is basically to bully him, because that's how we show our friendship. I think that's brilliant. Like, I sometimes do it with my friends. I sometimes have that relationship where, like, we make fun of each other, but we know it's jokes. We know it's not funny. And if it does go too far, we say to each other, okay, you're going a bit too far, let's stop. That's literally what we say. So yeah, I think that's really important, especially with that kind of stuff. Another thing that I would love to talk about, which I think is really important, is interactions with cast members. Interactions with cast members are brilliant. They sometimes make the highlight of your week or the highlight of your year. Like, especially last year, I had so many interactions with so many good people. I had interactions with Alice Oseman at Pride. I had interactions with Baby Queen. I've had interactions with Kit and Joe, of course, at Pride as well. And also last year, the year before, I've had so many interactions. I was able to meet Eddie Redmayne on the street, which was incredible. Because if you don't know, Newt Scamander is my favourite Harry Potter character. So it's probably because he's in Hufflepuff like me. But I've had those interactions because I've just seen them in the street. If I have gone up to them, I just like have a conversation like, hi, oh my God, I'm such a fan. I think your work is incredible. Here is, like, even if I give them a gift, like I gave Alice, I gave her like a custom t-shirt I designed, and I gave it to her, and I was like, oh my God, I made this for you. She says, oh, that's so cute. I didn't know people did this. That was the interaction I got. And I think that's brilliant. And I love that interaction. And I keep that interaction so close to me because I've met someone who has literally changed my life. For like Kit and Joe, the interactions I've had, the first interaction I had was not Pride last year, but the year before. It was my first Pride, and I was really scared about going by myself. I know there are loads of people that are coming to Pride this year, they're all my friends, and most of them are like, oh my God, I'm so scared, it's my first one. And I'm like, I literally know how it feels. Now, the best thing that made up for that experience was I was walking down past Charing Cross from Trafalgar Square, and I was listening to music with my AirPods, and my AirPods at the time were very broken, so they fell out. So my AirPods fell out, and I went to go and pick them up, and I accidentally bumped into every single cast member of Hearstopper. People asked, how do you meet all of them? And I said, I met them all at once. I've had more interactions with them one-off, but that was crazy. And I bumped into Kit, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he picked up my AirPod, he gave it to me, and said, that's completely fine. And I said, oh my God, I love your show so much. And they said, that's so kind of you. Thank you so much. Sorry, we've got to run. I said, no, that's fine. Go. That was the interaction I had. I didn't get any photos with. I could have been that person who grabs their phone and been like, hi, can I have a photo with you? Oh my God, come on, everybody in, come on. No, that's not really something that I would want to do. So yeah, if you have enjoyed this episode, I know it's been a bit more controversial, and a bit more like saying my points of view on certain things, but I suppose that's kind of what this is for. Then please do subscribe. We're already at 60 subscribers, which is absolutely crazy. I started this at 15 and now I'm at 60, which is crazy. It's so cool. Don't forget, on Friday, a new film is coming out called Together. Please do go and stream it. It is my first film in my masters, and I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you next one. Bye.